Hey, Eric.
Hey, Chris.
Did you know that listeners who enjoy this podcast can support us on Patreon?
How do they do that?
Well, check us out at patreon.com/retroam. Now, would you like to hear some hot sounds that we have recorded?
I would.
Welcome to Retrograde Amnesia, an exhaustive podcast series where we talk about Xenogears. Let's reconcile our boyhood feelings with our newfound adult hopelessness in an attempt to work out the emotions generated by a story about some big old robots.
Fighting robots.
Fighting robots. Correction, fighting robots. My name's Chris. I'm here with Eric. Hey,
Hi.
Eric.
Hey, what's up?
Good to see you again.
I talk in front of you every time you introduce me. I'm sorry.
Yes. Well, thank you for talking over me, and thank you to all our patrons, our followers, our listeners. We appreciate that. We are now battling champions. Faye is a battling. Are we Faye?
I think so.
Okay.
Faye's the point of view character.
Okay.
He's on the cover. We're Faye.
We're Faye. Sure. Any corrections from 15 minutes ago when we recorded the last episode?
I don't think so, Chris. Perhaps I'll edit some in later.
Okay. Congratulations on that. What's the next chapter called? It's called
Gear Dock Raid.
Oh.
And according to the Xenogears Xenosaga Study Guide.blogspot.com, it is Break into Gear Dock.
Oh. This might be the one where I like the English better.
I like the English slightly better,
but
I
they
think
are
it's localized correctly.
They are both specifically.
Yeah. What are we doing in this episode? Are we raiding a gear dock? Are we breaking in? Are we entering the ventilation shaft?
Have you ever paid attention to the Japanese Dragon Ball titles?
No.
This is true in all anime, but it's like they're always like 2 sentences long. It's like Goku dies, the tough battle, or whatever. So
see a kid start crying when he reads that.
Yeah. Piccolo learns to drive a car. Okay.
Yeah. So check out who's got a new room. Guess who's got some new stay-in digs in D Block? Where are we at, Chris?
Well, we hear the organ music, and we expect maybe to hear the Kaiser playing the organ because that's
what he does.
Yeah, that's what he does. But now we are in the champ's room, and guess what? We're the champ, and it's our room now.
It is my executive washroom. I get to live above a bar now instead of a dorm next to a crazy doctor.
Hell yeah. Are you ever envious of people who live above restaurants and bars?
I thought they only existed in fiction.
No, and it's real.
Really?
Yeah, there's a local establishment where I noticed that recently when I was there, and I was like, oh, they probably like own this restaurant or work there, but that might be kind of cool, although there'd be people around you all the time.
I mean, if you're in your 20s and really into one of the fuck apps, like I imagine it's quite a play to say, do you want to go upstairs?
Yeah, that's true.
Of either gender or preference or whatever, that is a good, convenient, non-driving move.
Or you run the restaurant.
You run the restaurant, yeah. You don't have to go walk home. You are home. And it always doesn't keep you up because you own the place.
Exactly. Good call. Okay, I'm glad we had this conversation. So we are greeted by Miss Rue Cohen.
Yeah, Rue shows back up and tells us some information.
I think the most important information that she tells us, other than catering to us because we're the battling champion now.
Right, yeah. You work for me now.
Yeah, apparently. She tells us that Rico's gear malfunctioned.
Malfunctioned.
I guess Rico had more matches later.
Yeah, he just wanted to go out and do some more scraps because that's what he's into. He just lost the biggest tournament of his life. Let's go out and fight. It's like when you lose the basketball game, you want to go shoot 153 free throws after the game. Yeah,
maybe Hammer is secretly like Rico's coach, and he's like, you need to go get some reps in.
Yeah, maybe that's where he's getting the parts. Is Rico's just ripping them off the corpses of down gears.
We do know that he saves the collars for his jacket or whatever, like the character designer said. So
that's pretty good.
But his gear malfunctioned and crashed into the Kaiser's box seats.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, weird, huh?
Strange that it crashes in there. Whose music are we hearing right now?
We are hearing the Kaiser's music.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. Cool.
Also, we did see like Rico had this like sad goodbye with his gear, with his
Rico
steer.
lost the big match. He's out there fighting. You know what I think about this, Chris?
What do you
Rico
think?
has CTE.
Oh, well, yeah, I think you brought that up before.
Yeah. You know why?
Why?
Because Rico has CTE.
Yeah. He's okay. Well, that's a more pleasant way of saying that he's a dumbass. But okay.
I think he just had too many head injuries.
Yeah.
Keeps fighting.
Yeah. Rue also says that Faye, now that he's free, he can go check out A Block.
And we're S rank. We can get S rank cuisine.
Oh hell yeah!
That's what I want.
We learned that they were able to get some good data from Faye.
Yeah, that's clearly what she actually wanted. Is they've watching Veltal beat ass. They definitely know what it's capable of now.
And Kaiser Sigmund would like to meet us.
Mm-hmm.
And Citan's like, whoa, we need to get the Veltal back, and we need this goddamn hamster to do it for us, because he's got a tail.
He's definitely... I saw an otter last week. It had a tail.
Was it like a nude tail with no fur on it?
Yeah, it was kind of hairless, and I admit that Hammer has a lot of hair. Maybe, I don't know, man.
Okay, we'll get to the bottom of this before this podcast is over with. Not this specific podcast, right, but before we roll credits. Hammer is like, okay,
Hammer just wants to leave. He wants to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I work alone, dude.
Yeah.
Like, even Hammer, even like grating ass motherfucking Hammer needs to get away from Citan, basically.
Yeah, he's like, I thought we were leaving. And Citan, of course, says, no, hey, we have some more work to do. Perhaps we should go do some more while we're here. I know your bomb collar's off, but let's see what else we can discover.
Yep. And then we get to go take a nap if we want, right?
Yeah, you can go back to sleep.
And save the game.
Yeah, your brand new room has a special room in it with a save point. That was like behind the door. And a single bed, which we'll get to later.
Oh no.
So after here, you can go to A block or central administration. Where'd you go first?
Well, the first thing I did was I went downstairs this time, actually, to the bar, and I noticed that a guy said that it's lonely in here because Hammer's gone, and I wonder if
friend.
There's an ambience of a bar, and it requires people talking. Like, that's part of being in a bar, is to hear people in the background. You don't want to be in a quiet bar.
No.
But where's the cutoff line? Like, if I was at my local establishment hanging out, I wouldn't want an asshole like Hammer here trying to sell me his mixtape. I want just other conversations going around and me having good conversations with my good friends.
Right, you want a safe experience for everybody involved.
So this guy wants Hammer to be there, so I don't know what he's all about.
If you talk to Latina, she's like, I knew you were powerful enough to win it.
Oh, well, thank you, Latina.
Yeah, I noticed she has different dialogue depending on your circumstance. I think that's her fourth different thing she said. So somebody tried to give Latina some contextually sensitive dialogue. A
dude also tells us as we leave the bar that Hammer wants us to meet him at the Wildcat Bar.
Yes, in A block.
And then we can kind of roam around for a bit. Where did you go first?
Central administration.
Oh, well, I wandered to the A block first, so which should we tackle first?
Well, I'm already moving my notes to A block.
Okay. So wandering around the A block.
Okay, I'm at Central District A block. All right.
There's a guard there who says he's running in circles because he's trying to stay in shape, but it's not working.
Right. As someone who runs in circles almost all the time, I can tell you it does work if you do it properly.
I would say that the circles that you run are probably much larger than this guy's.
Isn't he running around that Pinewood Derby-ass looking car in the middle of A block? Like, I thought like they was going to come in later, like we were going to escape from it, but no, it's just a silver balsa wood car sitting in the middle of.
It's like we got this asset here, guys. Implement it somewhere.
We deleted the race car scene, right? Yeah, put it in there. Just drop it in.
This is the deleted car from the racing scene in Chrono Trigger 2. Put it in. We also learned that if you try to go to the barracks, the soldiers' barracks.
When you first bust in, Hammer is like blabbermouthing, oh, fuck, I found it.
Actually.
Oh, no.
So, okay, I guess.
Depending on what entrance you go.
I guess, no, it diverges. If you go to the Central District and have that scene first, then Hammer will be present in the A block. If you go to the A block first, Hammer doesn't show up until after that. So we'll say Hammer hasn't shown up yet then, since we went to A block first. So you can go to the barracks, and the guard's like, you can't come in here. Oh, wait, you're the battling champ. You can go in here.
Mm-hmm.
So the battling champ has merit to go visit soldiers, I guess.
You see anybody interesting in the barracks?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. There's a guard inside giving a lecture about how to get on and off of the gears in a world map.
Yes.
As if we didn't already know that. Maybe we don't know that. I don't know.
He tells you they can't walk through forest, which is something you haven't explicitly discovered yet, I don't think.
Interesting to
go through water.
Interesting to sort of tutorialize something 25 hours into the game, but hey, it's something.
It's not Final Fantasy 13, is it?
Right. There's a guard struggling with the fact that gear battlers get rank over him despite his seniority. And when you think about it, I kind of agree with this guy.
Yeah.
It's like there's this weird system of merit in Kislev. It's an imperial capital. You assume that this is sort of like a fascist adjacent government where there is a lot of power at the top and a lot of lower class citizens that kind of just exist. But they also have this system of strength equals authority, like something that would only exist in like Fist of the North Star or Mad Max or something, like a post-apocalyptic anarchy. Like the strongest guy might be able to go wherever, but in an imperial setting, you'd feel like there might be more order.
Yeah, it's like we gave our judo champion more privilege than a colonel or something like that.
Yeah. In America, we give like Joey Chestnut privilege because he can eat the most hot dogs.
Yeah, dude. I respect him more than most authority figures.
Yeah, true. Not? I mean, come on over, Joey. You ever played Xenogears?
A lot of soldiers around, kind of like Ave, also have some PTSD stuff going on.
Yeah, it's actually kind of striking, actually.
Yeah. All Quiet on the Western Front was a true book about war not being glorious, and that kind of bleeds out to any game that has war in it.
That's all I got there.
Yeah,
there's a kitchen, and people are complaining about there's a guard being in the kitchen. That's about it.
Yeah.
At this point, I climbed the roof, and something happened. Did you climb the roof and have something happen?
Did I jump in the chimney?
Yeah, did you jump in the chimney?
Yeah. What happens after you jump in the chimney? Where do you fall?
You land in the only toilet in the Ignas continent.
That's right.
And
you jump in the chimney and you land in a wooden shitter that belongs to the old D-Block doctor. That's where she lives.
Yeah, a woman comes in and says, "Where'd you come from?" And she says that she recognizes them, and Faye's like, "I kind of recognize you." And then Citan says, "Faye, you did not ...
Yeah, Citan asks if Faye had sex with this woman.
Yeah. And Faye gets embarrassed, and it's like one of those, have you ever...
Has somebody ever come into my bathroom when I'm at home cooking dinner?
No. But like when you're hanging out with somebody that you don't know that well, but they want to like be horny with you and be like, "Oh, look, check out that babe over there." You know? Yeah, Citan's that
drooling
too.
as he says, "Oh, yeah. Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, dude, I just met you 15 minutes ago. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about.
You're summoning some memories for me right now that are making me sweat.
Okay, well, let's assume that you don't want to put those memories on the internet. And
I don't.
On. So yeah, it's the doctor from the D-Block.
She's excellent. She dresses Citan down too. She's the only person that actually puts Citan there. She's like, "You're the doctor. What are you doing here? There's people get fucked up here all the time. What are you doing?"
Yeah, she's like, "Don't you have any responsibility? You left D-Block. There are people dying. There are people hurt. This is a fight economy.
Yeah,
and people are getting their asses
She
kicked."
doesn't say this, but imagine like, "I've got your records. You've treated no one."
Yeah. Yeah, she's she's a non-portrait character, and she is the first person in this game, period, to call Citan on his shit.
Yeah. And he kind of takes it, right? He's like, "Yeah, well, yeah."
Yeah. Then we decide that we need to use this, we can use her house as a base of operations.
Here's the safe house. Did we send her back to D-Block first, or is that later?
That's later.
Later, okay.
She tells us the knock code, which...
you do that every time. Every time you enter the safe house, you have to do, what, 2 and then 3?
It's 212. I don't know if it's I assume it's the same, yeah.
Did you speak to the nun in the shitter?
No.
All she says is hang in there.
Oh, well, if we don't say anything better in this episode, then that might be the title here.
We might start power ranking the non-portrait character NPCs.
Yeah, subscribe to our Patreon if you want to hear us bullshit about that. I'll drink a lot before that, by the way. Yeah, when I went outside... Maybe the saddest moment in this game is some children told me they can't play outside because of all the steam. It's bad for their health.
Steam heads.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pollution metaphor. I'm like, Kislev, all of it looks dirty.
Yeah.
Like when you go outside, it's dark all the time.
Yeah.
I thought steam was clean energy, but it's clearly shitting this place up.
It's almost like it's almost a perfect export of the Imperial Capital Vector from Final Fantasy VI, where there's a lot of, later we see a lot of spotlights, and we see a lot of...
Oh, yeah, the spotlights especially.
Yeah. So
spotlights in JRPGs are a wonderful thing.
Yeah, especially when you don't have much to work with in the realm of like ambience. Like the spotlights work really well.
Any kind of air raid, they support the notion.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
Did you meet Big Joe?
Yeah.
Did he swindle your ass?
I've played this game before, so no, he didn't.
Okay.
He asked for 5,000 G.
Okay, so
to look behind him in an alley.
So I wanted to...
You did it, didn't you?
I wanted to see this play out.
And what'd you find back there?
Nothing this time. Hold on to maybe a future episode of this podcast. Also, I noticed something very interesting about Big Joe. He has
He's better at ripping people off than Hammer, is that what you noticed?
No, he has a very specific emote in his sprite where he's holding a microphone in a microphone stand.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he just carry that around?
No, it just pops out of nowhere when he like makes his like laughing animation.
Oh, okay.
He's holding a microphone with the full fucking stand.
I need to research that.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
We need to get all the Big Joe sprites and you put them somewhere for our friends to see. Yeah. He wants cash, moolah, wampum, or G.
He says wampum.
Yeah. I don't know what that means. I didn't look that one up.
Initializing fake net.
Wampum.
Small cylindrical beads made by some North American Indian peoples from shells strung together and worn as decoration are used as money.
So if you do pay him, you go back there and then he runs away. And while he runs away, it plays it doesn't play Night of Fire. I think it plays one of the battle tracks where as he runs away, but only plays it for like 3 seconds.
That's funny. I didn't pay him, so I didn't get that.
So yeah, that's it. Before I went to the Central District, I went to the Wildcat Bar. Hammer's not there yet at this point.
No, but Wildcat has a big cat and kittens running around.
Yeah, there's cats everywhere, and people are like, the cats are cute, and I'm not a cat person, but do you think the cats are cute? You're a cat person.
I love cats. I don't know if they have cat sound effects. I imagine they do. The dog does.
Yeah, I think they do.
Did you speak to the child in the bar?
The child of the dragon tribe?
Yes, the furry child of the dragon tribe. He says, when you get older, you become something incredible.
Yeah, that made me want to, like, pat this child in the head and say, yeah, sure, buddy.
Well, I mean, what we know later, demi-humans, we don't know if they start out human and just get weirder as time goes on, right?
We do learn that, actually.
Right, that's what I'm saying with Rico. Yeah. Like, Rico used to look human. So I don't know if this kid knows more than Rico did.
And we've seen a couple characters with pointy ears. So.
Right, so we don't know, like, if their face has been arrested or what.
Yeah, there's also, like, this boy from the mole tribe that is sitting at the bar having a beer, and I wasn't sure if it was a Bartweiser, because I don't know if they sell Bartweiser in Kislev.
Ooh, what if it's like stolen beer?
Or if it's just like the Ricardo IPA or something. I don't know. But the mole kid has fallen in love with the dragon tribe beauty.
Oh. And
his boss there is trying to be like, it's a very actually nice moment where he's like, I'm a mole, she's a dragon, we can't be together. And he's like, fuck it, dude, just do it. So it was a nice moment of inclusiveness.
Go perform a consensual French kiss.
Yes, there you go. Sure. Get after that. It's okay. You can be different. So then I went to the Central District.
But you didn't talk to Hammer here at all?
No, he
doesn't show up until after you go to Central District?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So what do you have on Central District?
I have a lot on Central District.
Central District, when you first get there, the guards tell us that the Kaiser is waiting for us. We already know that he wants to see us, so now we know he is actually waiting for us. Did you have any notes on the Kislev emblem? Because we see the flag there.
No.
It's violent looking.
Really?
It's
oh yeah, isn't it? I can see it in my head, but I can't describe it.
It's an all red, and it's shaped like an H almost, but at the bottom of each of the lines, one of them is an axe, and the other one looks sort of like a cleaver with a hole in the middle. Yeah, it's very imperial. It's really cool. I tried to see if I could figure out what the inspiration for that was, but I think it was just a cool sort of violent imperial looking emblem, but it's all over the place here. So
potential podcast bonus content idea: top 10 Xenogears tattoos I would get if I had to get a Xenogears tattoo.
Ooh, I would just get
the red X on your forehead.
No, the dialogue box of Yui saying, "My husband is in the back fingering with his junk."
I bet someone has a dialogue box tattooed on them. That's a really good idea. God, that's good.
Yeah. So yeah.
Jesus, why? Oh man, lifelong regrets. Okay. So the first place I went, so you go up the elevator, the guards let you pass because you're the battling champ, and apparently that gives you free reign over government buildings.
Yeah, and then before you regain control, Rico barges in and is like, I can't get, because the guards just leave.
Yeah, the guards leave and take you up to go to the second floor.
But you see Rico come in, there's no one guarding the door, but it's locked, so he's like, I'm going to go climb through the air ducts, because when you are plotting out something and you can't have a character get from A to B by going through the normal things, they have to go through the air ducts.
Absolutely. Every place has central air, man.
If you thought that this trope originated with Metal Gear Solid, then you are mistaken. It probably goes way back, way further back than that. So yeah.
So the first room I went to was the tactical room, and the world map in this room features a very unique continent that may not be there anymore in any other world map in this game.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
It's a unique piece of trivia.
I did notice the continent, but I didn't know, or I did notice the map, but I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's like a weird bonus thing that I guess one of the art directors hid in there.
Oh.
If you're paying attention, I don't think you even have access to the full world map at this point, but if you overlaid them, you'd see a big difference.
Oh, wow.
There's also a hologram rotating plane in the middle of this room called the Goliath.
It looks like the Blackbird from Chrono Trigger.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Have you played that video game before? It's pretty
Once, 20 years ago.
Oh, well, we're not doing a podcast about that. Also, okay, so anything else from the tactical room?
Not the tactical room.
I found a man hiding a dog under the stairs.
Yeah, you go underneath, and there's a guy under the stairs with a dog. And if you talk to him about it, he says, I rescued this from Lahan, which means Faye almost killed him in Lahan. And he rescued that dog from Faye's carnage.
Well, good on you, man.
Yeah.
The chickens are loose.
Yeah, this whole area, you enter the next door and there's a bunch of chickens running around and guys chasing the chickens. And then you go in the kitchen, there's a live cow just standing in the kitchen. This all feels like last minute shit where someone had to use a bunch of existing assets to populate a room with materials.
Yeah.
It's like, go build underneath. We got to have something down there. I forgot to make it. Go take the farm assets. He rescued the farm. Fuck. Beef.
Wow.
Did you go to the storeroom in Central Administration?
No, I don't think so.
There is a crane shifting mini game in there where you have to operate a crane and move it left and right around a bunch of boxes. And if you knock over boxes at the end, you can jump into a place where a Venus is there. And she says, look, shut up. If you don't tell anybody I'm back here, I'm avoiding work. I'll give you what's in this treasure chest.
And?
I got what's in the treasure chest.
And?
I don't remember what it is right now, Chris.
Oh, okay.
Initializing fake net. The item is an insulated AR.
I totally missed that part.
Yeah.
I was trying to be very thorough in this part, and I guess I missed that. Also, there's a battleship area with the dude in his giant bridge chair.
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, man. The bridge area has a captain that's staring at the ceiling in a weird-ass pose in the middle of a room. Yeah. He's like standing up with his weird beard staring upward like he's like in the Matrix chair that they put in the back of your head, but vertical. Yeah. It's like, what? This isn't... It feels like they told somebody to design a bridge who's never seen Star Trek or any battleship ever. Like, this isn't how the captain... This thing isn't even mobile. What kind of bridge is this? What's this for? Are
we assuming now that the Imperial capital is a ship or something?
Yeah. I mean, the thing in the middle looks red and looks like it flies, right?
Yeah. It doesn't look like it's of the,
Was it in Xenosaga, the ship just becomes the skyscraper in Second Miltia or something?
A lot of things happen in that. I don't know. I don't remember.
Initializing fake net. The ship the boys can't think of is the Durandal, Galaxy Federation and Kakai Foundation spaceship.
A lot of things happen in that summary.
That ends our Xenosaga podcast, at least for now.
Cuts off his own head.
My belle Pesh. There's no need to tremble like that.
There's a lot of buzz in the bridge area where people are talking about Lahan. Somebody said something about a single survivor who's lost his mind.
The Lahan thing is recent news in Kislev, it feels like, in Nortune. Yeah. That's a weird bit of world building that I really appreciated.
Yeah.
They're all still obsessed with the fucked up shit that happened there because that was the most exciting thing to happen in weeks.
Yeah, there's also rumors of the Red Gear, too.
Yeah.
So
they know about that stuff.
Yeah. And then the only other thing I have before the story progresses is that we are not allowed to go into the Kaiser's wife's room.
Right.
No one has been allowed in there since she disappeared.
Right. That's at the end of a hallway opposite the Kaiser's room.
Yeah.
Which is, you're going to be in that room in at least 2 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Probably.
Exactly. In the Kaiser's lair, or room or whatever, we go in there and we hear, of course, the organ music.
Mm-hmm.
People are talking about how he lost his wife and he's very sad. His wife left him, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think she left him in the sense that where we say my wife left me, but she's not there anymore.
She left him.
Okay. She left him.
We know that a little bit later. She walked out on his ass.
Did you talk to the cat?
No. The cat speaks?
Well, I mean, if you talk to the cat, a dialogue box appears.
Uh-huh.
It does not say meow or mew or anything or purr.
Cats speak differently in Japan.
It says woo, W-H-E-W.
I forget, you know how we say meow for cat speak? They say something totally different in Japan that I can't remember right now.
Yeah.
Initializing fake net.
日本では伝統的な猫の騒音は
It's like that for frogs too. They say giru, I think, or something.
And you just want to, she's like, no, that's not how cats talk, you idiot.
Yeah.
But so the Kaiser offers to join forces with Faye.
Yeah, but before he does that, he says, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Bitch, you invited me here."
I mean, that's totally a president thing, right? Like, who the hell are you? I'm your only meeting today, man. I won this thing that you set up for slaves to battle, sir. Now I'm not a slave. See, no collar?
Yeah.
I'm here, man. Here's my permit, and you wave the
look at these clothes. I'm obviously not of this place.
Yeah. I've never washed these. It's been 3 years.
He wants to join forces, but what do you think? What's the reason at this point? Why do we think he wants to join forces? Just because Faye is a strong bachelor?
He's strong, and I don't think that they think anyone else can pilot the Veltal. So I'm pretty sure that they want to like sweetheart him in there, like, hey, Faye, good friend, have a drink. Do you want to play this organ? Gosh, that sounds like fun.
I just thought of this, so I haven't thought it through yet, but does the Kaiser have a scenario, or is he just grabbing at power?
Everyone in power has a scenario.
That's true, but is his scenario just gain power, win the war?
He knows Gross, friend, man.
Yeah. He probably has a scenario and does not know that he is part of, like, he's like, he's like 3 scenarios deep.
He's somebody else's cog.
Yeah.
So what happens then? A cartoon bomb falling noise. It does the whistling and then the explosion.
Yeah, Rico falls from the ceiling.
Like any good vent sequence.
If we really, I mean, we spend a lot of time working on this podcast. If we really wanted to go deep, we could just list every single time when somebody falls from an air duct for comedic or Deus Ex Machina purposes.
It climaxed in Jackass when they drop the diamonds.
Yeah, true.
Oh, God! Fuck! Get the diamond! I told you not to fall off the damn beam! Turn around! Fuck!
And Sigmund says, it's you, in all caps, Rico. So he knows Rico. I mean,
he knows him.
Everybody knows Rico.
Everybody knows Rico.
Yeah.
How many green, orange-haired battling champs are there in this stupid city?
Yeah, and he calls him a mutant, which I don't think we've heard that term yet.
Nope.
I think it's probably like
a slur.
It's a slur for demi-human. So yet, add Sigmund to our list of racists in this game.
Despite the fact that he's got some fucked up ears.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me, different ears.
Yes. No offense to our elvish listeners.
Right.
Rico runs down the stairs and tricks the guards into leaving the wife's room.
Yeah, well, doesn't he say that there's some kind of, like, the Kaiser wants them or some shit? I'm like, well, there's no point in both of us ever guarding this because no one get in here. It's DNA locked.
Yeah, we don't know it's DNA locked yet, but we figure out that, like, because the guard's like, it's not going to open up anyway.
Yeah.
So, of course, Rico walks up to it and...
It opens.
Oh, yeah, it opens.
It plays Faraway Promise.
Yeah.
And it plays a flashback.
Before the flashback comes in, we get a first-person perspective of Rico looking in the mirror.
Oh, right.
Seeing himself, indicating that he smells something familiar. And there's a little bit of flashing, and he says, I've seen this.
Yeah.
So that's when Faraway Promise starts to play.
We'd assume he's seen the vanity of that area of those possessions.
Yeah, I think so. Because he's looking straight in the mirror. You're seeing a sprite reflect back to him in the mirror. And then there's the flashback is... It's kind of long-winded, but it's just like a sick mother and a kid who is being bullied because he's different from other kids. He's starting to look different than the other kids, so that...
He's being bullied, and he asks his mother why Jenny has a father and he doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. And so I guess, like, so he's starting to look different, and it's larger than just like a puberty thing. It's more of maybe his ears are starting to get long, or he's starting to turn green, or
demi-human aspect.
And he's questioning everything.
The localization here does a neat effect where it keeps juxtaposing other with mother.
Yeah.
Which I think is an interesting way to blend those two concepts together and kind of provide a sense of alienation and dependency upon one single person as opposed to a full family unit.
Yeah, and the kid quickly, I mean, we know it's Rico, and he quickly figures out that she's not his real mother, and he understands that he's different, and...
I interpreted that as it was his real mother.
He specifically says, you're not my real mother.
Oh.
But she doesn't quite...
Maybe he assumed that because he's different and she's not. I assumed he was the product of either experimentation or not racial, but actual, like, genus, whatever that one up on the, that donkey and horse makes a mule thing.
He's a
hybrid,
a half-breed.
Yeah, half-breed.
I guess. I don't know if that's a... Yeah, but...
That sounds like a slur, but it's probably accurate.
But yeah, maybe, but he doesn't know his father. We don't know his father. So she could be his real mother and his father could be the different one. He's Gohan, basically. So
who's Gohan? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, yeah. I've seen enough Dragon Ball. If anybody's tallying my Dragon Ball references, please, write me on Twitter. That whole scene's, it's a little long-winded, but it's sad as shit because there's a kid who's getting bullied. His mother's sick. I think she dies.
Yeah. She passes away, I think. She's in bed, right?
Yeah.
And it's not looking good.
No.
He's kind of doing the math, figuring out he's going to be on his own from now on.
Are these repressed memories?
I think so.
That are rushing back to him when he goes in here?
Yeah, he definitely repressed that. And as soon as he saw those possessions, it's clear that it all came running back. And it kind of changes Rico's motivations a little bit. It gives him a little bit more of a reason to live.
Yeah, and certainly this is all, like, this whole scene is definitely more meaningful than just the scene itself, because all these long ears floating around here and shit, like, something's about to connect. And like, for some reason, Faye busts in here and he's like the cop, and he's like, "What are you doing in here, man?
You're not supposed to be in here. Me and the Kaiser got a thing going. I'm with him now. You can't be in his wife's room, man."
I wish Rico would have just been like, "Faye, why are you being such a cop?" So then Rico like joins the party for a second.
Yeah.
And you leave the room. And then, as if we couldn't already figure out that there is a genetic connection between...
They spell it out for you.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, that's a DNA locked door." So Rico got in there because that's his mother or his father. Either his mother or his father lived there.
The Kaiser's wife left him at some point carrying a child in case it's all spelled out. So there's two things before that, though. I stole a memento locket off the vanity in the wife's room.
Oh, really?
It gives you +6 to ether and +6 to ether defense. And then after they arrest Rico for going in there, and then like as soon as you get out, and he says to Faye, "Be seeing you," which in the last 5 years has taken on a new meaning as to what the assassins say to each other in John Wick films. Like, it's like their code of like, we're not fighting now, but perhaps we will later.
Yeah. Yeah, after they arrest Rico, first of all, Faye stands by and doesn't do anything about it.
Of course not.
I don't know if it's because he doesn't quite trust Rico yet, or if it's because he's not in a position to where he should really...
I mean,
rebel.
Rico, despite organizing a prison beating of Faye, Rico's since proven himself to be pretty honorable, like losing the fight fair and square and whatnot. Yeah. So I think Faye feels something for Rico, but he's teaming up with the Kaiser now, man.
Sigmund says something interesting here. He says, "I will await your positive response about joining forces." So he's basically saying, "I'm waiting for you to come back and tell me yes." Yeah. Which is a very... It's an interesting negotiation tactic.
That's a good power move.
Yeah, his bargaining posture is highly dubious.
Yeah.
Your bargaining posture is highly dubious.
Nice.
So,
did you go back up to the Kaiser's room after that?
No.
I did for the first time, I guess, because I found a mini game I've never played before. If you go to the Kaiser's organ thing, you can play his metronome, the little piggy bank. You can play a game where the arrow shifts left and right, and if you nail it right in the center, you get gold. And the more you do in a row, the more gold you can get successive as like a risk. You know how many gold I got?
How many?
0. It's fucking hard.
Oh, okay. And it's not like you're having any input delay issues because you're playing on a CRT.
No, I'm having age delay at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens.
So yeah, that was all I did in the central administration. Yeah,
and so when you go to A block, I'm not sure how all the logic works out here, but when I went to A block, back to A block, since I'd already been there, Hammer immediately runs to my...
Dude, excuse me. Bro.
I have found the gear.
Bro.
And Faye is like, "Don't talk about this in the open."
She's like grabbing his lips.
Yeah, he punches him in the face.
He does?
It's the same Sprite pose that he did when he punched the tree when he was upset at Ellie or whatever.
Cool. Yeah, that's funny.
So they go back to the doctor's house at this point to talk about it. Now, you hadn't met the doctor at this point, so did you have to go find a place to meet?
Yeah, we wound up on the roof talking up there, and then that's when I jumped into Chimney.
Oh, okay. So for me, since I had already done that sequence, it just immediately warped me to the doctor's place. So
okay.
Finally, a branching path. I don't think that we will ever be able to do this podcast about a game with a lot of branching paths, because that would be a hard conversation to have.
Yeah, unless we direct it beforehand. Like we go here, and here.
If you can't tell, we just kind of show up and start talking. So, so Hammer has learned that the Veltal is underground at the dock under D block.
Right.
And we got to figure out how to get through the supply train routes to sneak in.
Right. He suggests the plot of Money Train with Wesley Snipes.
Yeah. And then they're like, he's like, "I got to go do some more shit." And he leaves. I just now, this is the first time I've noticed he's carrying a laptop bag or like a purse.
Yeah. He has like a carry bag with him. I assume that those were his supplies.
Yes. He is the supplier after all.
In most other countries, men carry personal bags with them. It's not like a gendered faux pas.
So then we have to go back to D block.
Yes.
And we are confronted by some battling dudes and an Amazoness.
Suzanne and whatever other henchman is left.
Yes. Is an Amazoness like just a female battler?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because they're all tall and they're all wearing the pom-pom hair with the leggings.
I thought we were going to have to beat their asses, but we end up going back to the champ's room to have a discussion here.
Yeah. They tell us that Rico attempted to kill the Kaiser and is scheduled for execution at the arena.
A public execution... Is a public execution out of place in this society right now, in the imperial capital?
Times are getting tight.
Kislev.
You have the most powerful weapon available right here, and then this distraction, this longtime champion, this hero of the proletariat is fucking with you. Let's get rid of him.
We referenced this, I think, in the last episode, that but this is the point actually where we learn that the battling committee is made up of mostly members of the ethos, and they may have framed Rico for trying to kill the Kaiser because there is a very significant power struggle between the Kaiser and the ethos. I'm not exactly sure why there's a struggle, but there is.
I have a note on that later, I think.
So these battling people are also telling us some other things too. At one point, Sigmund, I guess when he was coming to power, he whipped up a lot of anti-demi-human sentiment and ran Rico out of town. And that is what the battling committee that they think is using as a motive.
Mm-hmm.
So they used Rico to try to take out the Kaiser because Rico would have a motive to go after the Kaiser because the Kaiser ran him out. And also the Kaiser's probably his father too. So
right. Almost certainly.
Yeah.
All but spelled out.
Yeah. Hammer comes in and is like, yo, bro, I figured out what's going on.
He knows when the times are coming. He knows weeks.
He's got the train schedule. And he says the train's coming tonight. And so it's too soon to make a move, but Faye briefly transforms back into like the bullhorn grabbing Faye that we've seen a couple times throughout here, and he's
some
like
initiative.
He's like, let's fucking do this now.
Yeah. He says we move tonight.
Yes. I remember he said before the recapture Ave sequence where he said we do this or let's do this or something like that, or simple we do this.
Yeah.
He's doing that again.
Yeah, he's getting into it.
So they're going to attack, they're going to hijack a train, get the gear back, and escape through the battling arena. I think it's the plan.
I don't really know how the geography of Kislev works, but sure, I buy it.
Yeah, and Faye, this is another great line that Faye has, that he says once they get the Veltal and they get to the battling arena, he is, quote, going to, quote, just go wild.
Yeah.
So he's going to fuck some shit up, and then they're going to escape.
He's like, I'm going to do the thing where everyone dies.
And for some reason, one of the dudes gives us 2,000 G for our trouble because he's like, while you're at it, please rescue Rico from his public execution.
Sorry about beating the shit out of you.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was going to happen.
And Faye gets to sleep again.
Before it, like, you're supposed to sleep again, I went and climbed that tower because I missed that part where you're supposed to go to sleep. And I have two different things about that tower.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. One, the guy who's up there, you know what his name is?
No.
Gramps.
Oh, the same Gramps?
I don't know.
I thought Gramps was a frog.
So did I. I don't know if this guy's, if we got a morpher here or what, but his name's Gramps.
Maybe there's like there's two like
Sewer Gramps.
Yakuza. Gramps Yakuzas that are like at odds with each other.
He told me not to jump off the tower, but I thought I was doing this mission, so I did. And then he said, I told you not to, and find me 50 G, and the game took it away.
Oh, Jesus.
So don't jump off the tower if it's not time. But instead, Citan, you're supposed to go up to your personal room. Citan says, there is time before the train arrives. Let us rest here a while. And you're both in Faye's single bed champ room.
Yeah.
You wake up and Citan's there. It's a twin bed.
Yeah.
Our boys sleeping together.
I mean, it's fine if they want to.
Yeah,
but...
I've slept in a queen bed with Chris before.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It was fine.
2011, yeah.
Both.
It was fine.
Yeah. It's just weird.
I mean, that happens in RPGs.
Yeah, I know,
too.
but it's one of those things where it's like, there's a couch in the other room.
I think the only series, I may be wrong with this, but the only series that I can think of right now that always accounts for the proper amount of beds is the Mana series.
Oh, really? As far as how many are there for the available?
Yeah, there's always 3 beds.
You just hang out next to this save point.
Yeah, exactly. This memory cube. It's sending my information back to a mysterious council and a hamster. Otter, excuse me. So when you wake up, you can go downstairs, it's playing Jaws of Ice, I think.
Yes.
Because we are planning our mission.
You're sneaking.
And we've got to climb up this tower to catch the train. And this fucking sucks.
Yeah. They give you a lot more agency than I expected here.
Yeah, you actually do have to jump off the tower onto the train. The timing is not very forgiving.
And the playable space, like the, not hitbox, but the amount of environment you're allowed to enter is not correct. Like you basically hit an invisible barrier once you get to the train and then drop on the very edge.
Yeah,
you don't land in the middle of it. It's very... Did you mess this up?
I messed this up like 6 times.
Yeah, so did I. I even messed it up. Well, So once you land on it, it does some Final Fantasy VI minecart ride stuff real quick. And then Faye says, those little punks. And I'm like, what punks? And then it plays the sleepy music. Sidon says, jump off, right?
Yeah.
Which way did you jump?
I just jumped off.
So did I.
And then you die. Then it's like, oh, the plan
was a failure since we cannot turn back time.
Yeah, but then time turns back.
Yeah, and then time resets.
That's not great. So that sucks. But
yeah, that was weird. I was like, yeah, we're going to jump off. Like, who would jump forward on the you're supposed to jump forward on the train is the point of this.
The way you actually accomplish it is to jump like 3 or 4, because for whatever reason, the train's breaking apart. I still don't know who Faye is calling a punk.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I assume he thinks that I don't either. I have no idea.
It doesn't make any sense. It's maybe
the train drivers, maybe? I don't know.
It's maybe the worst part of this game so far. Yeah. A lot doesn't make a lot of sense, but it sucks ass.
It kind of gets weirder because you have to keep jumping up this train as train cars disintegrate or whatever, because I guess the extra weight wasn't calculated for this automatic system.
I don't know.
But to get off, Faye and Sidon super jump off a train that's going 60 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Beavis and Butthead where Beavis got out of the car that was traveling down the highway?
No.
Butthead told him to start running really fast when he got there.
Oh, yeah. You just unlocked that visual.
Yeah.
I had it.
It's a great sequence.
I don't know, Butthead. That road's like moving pretty fast and stuff. Come on, Beavis. Just start running really fast as soon as you hit the ground. It'll work. No way. You go. Don't be a wuss, Beavis.
Sure, why not? Then we get to the vent shaft.
The ventilation shafts. It's kind of your first dungeon in a while, right? Since the sewers, I guess?
The sewers, yeah.
Just you and Sidon.
Yeah, there's not a ton there that's interesting. It's mostly recycled enemies.
Well, there's the mechanic.
Yeah, the mechanics are
He throws
weird.
wrenches at you.
Giant wrenches.
Yeah, big wrenches. Well, I mean, if you're in, you've seen those big nuts on those old New York skyscrapers, right? Like they're turning them with some major power tools down there.
I guess so. Well, why are the mechanics in the...
Because you're fucking up their shit and they're angry. Why are you in the vents? Get out of my... I'm fixing this, dude.
Why do the mechanics have Darth Vader helmets?
Because they're angry. You've seen the rats and stuff down there.
There's bat rats, there's hobs, a couple other things.
It's funny, I didn't hit a single bat rat. Are you serious? I just fought hobs, mechanics, and swordsmen.
The swordsmen don't come till later.
Oh, okay.
I don't think there's any swordsmen actually in the ventilation shaft, but once you get out.
Oh, I've seen that whole area. I call it the vents, even though it's some soldier barracks and stuff.
There's a couple of opportunities you have to peek through the vents and see what's up. You get to see like a guard shack, and you get to see where the Veltal is. And
you can follow 2 lackeys around. There's one of the vents, you get like a really neat scene in that gear hanger where it peers up at like a Dutch angle, and it's kind of a neat framing device that someone spent some time on. It is purposeful though, because it shows the Veltal being rotated around different areas of the hangar.
It's a slight clue into the puzzle that's going to be the very simple puzzle that's going to occur.
I don't know how simple that is if you are missing some kind of out of the way element.
Yeah, well, we'll get there.
So yeah, we get a box puzzle next, right?
Box puzzle, yeah.
We go to a room and then you got to jump on these crates, but if you push, there's no push animation. You just run into the box and it moves with you as you're running, and you get to jump on these boxes and get into this door.
Actually, okay, so I didn't have to do that. I just jumped from one. I came out of the vent. I was on top of a box, and I was able to perfectly time my jump just to jump over the other side. I didn't even know you could push a box until just now.
There you go.
So somehow I made it through that part.
When you do a redux of this podcast, when we're 60 to see if it holds up, we'll push the box then.
Yeah. When Squaresoft sells the rights to
us
to Monolith and they remake this game for Switch 3. Okay.
So then like you end up like proceeding through this barracks area, and then you end up following these 2 guys who are absolute morons and openly talk about where they're stashing the master key. Yeah,
they stashed the master key, and I think they are talking about how they really need to go
watch the champ fight the beast.
Yeah, the ex-champ fight the beast, and they're very excited about it, so we don't really have to beat up any guards to progress other than the swordsmen that we encounter.
Yeah, there's some random battles.
Yeah.
Well, there's another battle. After you pass through the gang showers, which is a really interesting set of assets, you can go to the administration desk, and if you search it, you find a mini gear, which is a toy. And then the guy, once you steal it, the guy comes back and gets pissed and says, "Hey, what are you doing? That's my thing." And you fight 4 swordsmen and you murder them.
Oh, okay, I missed that.
So I stole his toys and killed him.
Oh, well.
I have it in my possession now. It says mini gear. I don't know what it is.
Oh.
I think it's like I think that guy's like an otaku. Because like earlier somebody said, stop playing with that thing and do your job.
Yeah.
So I assume he's playing with his action figures at his desk or something like that.
As we do.
And then I put them in my pocket and took him.
So then we get to the hangar and we become extremely tiny.
Yes.
And our frame rate maybe increases to 60 frames per second.
Yeah, this happens a lot. In any area where you can also be in a gear, your characters run really fast to make up for the change in perspective and skill.
Yeah, I'm for it. I like this.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Metal Warriors for Super Nintendo, which was a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up or kind of platforming shooting game, and you could press select and get out, and you're really tiny. And you're
I've played that with you. It's a good game.
It's a great game. Underrated.
Hard to find. But there's also a fix bot here that will sell you gear parts in case you didn't upgrade it before.
For the gear that you don't have.
Right.
Unless you've already... I mean, you do find the gear here. I don't know if this is a puzzle or you just have to press a button on the wall to get the Veltal to appear on the dock thing.
You have to push a button twice. It rotates through gears to shuffle on the active gear, and you push it twice and the Veltal pops up.
Gotcha.
Also, earlier when you stole the master key, Sighton pilfered a 30% frame restore device.
Yeah, it's like a healing item.
You can actually start healing gears now if you require it. It burns fuel, a great amount of fuel if I remember correctly.
It's helpful in a pinch.
Once you get your gear, once you buy your parts, you can upgrade stuff, and then it does a gear launching mechanism, a vertical launch, exactly like Ava.
Yeah, which is probably exactly like something in Gundam, by the way.
Yeah. And you're transported to, it looks like the Ave Desert, but I think we're supposed to consider it to be the battle arena.
Yeah,
it's the same assets as the Ave Desert.
Yeah, Rico is like standing in the middle of the sand being like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And he's hearing stomping noises in the background. And he may as well have like a glass of water with the
like pulse,
the Jurassic Park like T-Rex stomp scene.
Why'd you say T-Rex? Who shows up?
A T-Rex.
Our old buddy, the Rancor Dragon.
The Rancor Dragon.
Another one. R? Oh, it is actually just called Rancor R this time?
Yeah.
Cool.
And in the
Type R.
Yeah. Whatever. I guess it's a upgraded version of it. And Faye comes in with a battle cry. Did you note this?
No.
Faye runs in with the Veltal and flashes on the screen, "Yar!" And we're fighting the Rancor Dragon R. And I thought maybe the R indicated that it was going to be more powerful or more difficult to beat, but it went down really quickly.
Yeah, it had 800 HP. I killed it. I didn't think I used a death blow. I just hit it with axe 3 times.
Yeah. And Faye gets out, and Rico is like, "Why are you even here?" And Faye's like, he's very quick to let Rico know, "I'm just passing through.
I just left and you were there, so I thought I'd just murder this thing in like 2 hits."
Yes, I'm Desert Fox, Special Ops. I'm just over here borrowing a record.
It's a product of insecurity, I think, where he doesn't want to admit that he enjoyed saving Rico's life and saving someone as opposed to murdering everyone.
Faye also uses his sprite changes here because he has this like pleading.
Yeah, he has like
animation.
a hands out begging hand animation.
Like, please escape with me. Please.
And says, even you must have things left to do here.
I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
but in your state of mind, you're not really like he's telling Rico that he's mentally unprepared to deal with this because Rico has CTE.
Yeah. Yes. He does.
And great emotional trauma.
Yes, Rico Gronkowski. Okay.
What?
So then there's some more rumbling, but this time it's not a dinosaur. It is the Gebler geeks and their ship. They are attacking, and there are explosions and whatnot. And one of them gets it pans out, and this is where we see the spotlights. And Kislev is shooting lasers and everything, and there's a lot of gunfire you hear coming down. There's a cool shot of the ship kind of from the ground, and you see the spotlights in the background. The ships kind of look like blimps almost.
Yeah, and there's missiles going up. Have
Yeah.
you ever seen the original CNN footage from when the Gulf War started? It looks kind of like that.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Like
wow.
the missiles going up and down. I'm pretty sure that is what inspired this scene, because I can't think of anything else that produced that reaction around that time. It was like 6 or 7 years later.
Wow. Yeah. Well, congratulations on getting that reference if you're 32 to 36.
It's a very cool cinematic scene. Nighttime bombing run shots, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Faye goes off to handle it by himself.
Yeah, and Sighton explains, Gebler is attacking, and I'm like, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, we know.
We fucking get it.
There's some good background ambient noise here, too.
Yeah, Sighton notices that they are heading towards the reactor, and that's when Faye blasts off to help.
Yeah. I don't think he even asked Rico. Like, Rico's still wallowing in self-pity, right?
Yeah.
And Sighton doesn't have his gear. Where did he put his gear? Did he ever say?
Sighton's gear?
Yeah, because he had it.
No, he just showed up as the doctor, remember? And so he must have planted it somewhere.
Yeah, he's got it stashed.
Yeah. I don't know why I wrote this down at this point, but I wrote down I miss Bart.
Yeah.
I kind of miss Bart.
What if we just both fight at the same time?
Yeah. The game keeps going here without a save point, but this is kind of where the game transitions from Gear Dock raid to Night Purge.
Right.
So that's it. We're done. We're moving on to Night Purge. We know the purge is about to occur.
To purge.
Thank you for listening to this podcast today, Eric. Thank you for saying words to contribute to this podcast. Thank you.
All out of my head.
You, Eric, this will be weird, but you could support us on Patreon at patreon.com/retroam. You, Eric, could follow us on Twitter at retroamnesiapod. Email us at retrogradeamnesiapodcast@gmail.com. We promise to read and respond to your comments in the future, so you can also follow us, DM us on Twitter, whatever. However you want to get in touch with us, YouTube comments, whatever. Review us on
Great YouTube comments recently, by the way.
Yeah, I do want to point this out, that there's a user called Giganova who has great comments. I love his comments. He had something about Keanu Reeves saying, "No, you shall be as gods."
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
Is that a reference?
Yeah, at E3 this year on the Microsoft conference, Keanu came out and somebody said, "You're awesome," and he pointed with both hands and said, "No, you were awesome."
Okay, I get it now.
Or "You're amazing." I'm sorry. Yeah. You're amazing.
You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking.
Yeah. So "No, you shall be as gods" that's pretty good.
Yes, I love this person. So please keep commenting on YouTube videos. Whatever the applicable kudos of the podcasting application are, please give them to us. Review us, whatever. Thank you, Mark
Shepard,
for the intro track. It's good, it's great, it's wonderful. We're not on Facebook. Until next time.
Yes, we will kill God.
And now you may go back to sleep. Thank you to our patrons.
Drink, swallow, cough.
That's what she said? Sorry.
Oh boy.
There's one for the outtakes.
Addendum, I've been cutting it out. You don't have to say www. As soon as I can find...
Email us at retrogradeamnesiapodcast. No. I don't know if you're going to need that or not, but you can use it again.